Hey queens, you might have been, hey lovers, how are you? You might have been wondering where I've been. And to that I say, where haven't I been? I've been everywhere and nowhere. I've been in the ether, I've been to the moon. Like, where have I not been? I'm back, I'm better. I'm going to try and upload a little bit consistently, maybe kind of, sort of. Today we are doing a reading vlog. I kind of explain it a little bit more as the video goes on, but we're reading Nightbane. Apologies for it being so long, but I wanted to get out as much as possible. And if it doesn't make sense, again, apologies. I'm trying my best. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it. So keep watching, and I hope you enjoy. Good morning, lovely people. I have crust in my eyes. Hold on. Good morning, lovely people. Oh wait, I have something that I call you. Hey, lovers. I just woke up. Tis 10:09. I mean, I woke up at like 9:30, but I've been watching a couple of videos on YouTube. Today, speaking of my laptop, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah. Because I want to spend all of this day reading a book. My friend and I are trying to read together. Nightbane. Dun, 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 dun. I've been trying to read that book for like a while. I've gotten only 36 pages because I am so bored by this book. Like, you don't understand. So I'm gonna try after breakfast to finish this book in a day. There are, hopefully I can read the bottom of the page without spoilers. There are 403 pages. I am on page, once again, 36. So that's 403 minus 36. That's a lot of pages. I'm gonna try and finish this today. The old me used to be able to knock a book this thick out in a day. I need to wash my face and like for real get up. So after breakfast, I'm literally gonna start. Hopefully I start maybe at like 11:30 so that I can really start like pushing this out. And I'm gonna play some music. I'm gonna do my thing, and then we'll get started. So yeah, I will see you later. Before I go to breakfast, I'm gonna try and see if I remember literally anything from this book. I have a literal tripod right there. My robe is hanging on it, and I'm using my hands. If you have not read the first book, I forgot what the first book is even called, Lightlurk. If you have not read Lightlurk, this book is not gonna make any sense. And to be honest, it's been so long since I read Lightlurk. I think it's been a year. So I cannot really tell you exactly what happens and everything. I just know that it was not my favorite. Alex Astor, if you ever watch this video, you're great and you make decent enough stories. They're just not my cup of tea. First of all, here's what I'll say. I'm not even a fantasy girly at all. Like, if you talk about ACOTAR to me, I will fall asleep. No, I'm just kidding. I won't fall asleep. But I don't like the ACOTAR books either. And it's kind of because of the fantasy stuff. Like, fantasy, I feel like, has to be done a specific way. I'm very picky with my fantasy stuff, so don't take any offense if I don't like your favorite fantasy book. But I do want to get into more fantasy because I feel like there is a fantasy book out there for me because everybody likes fantasy. And I'm like the only girly who does not like any fantasy book out here so far. So that means I just haven't found the right one, correct? Correct. Nightbane so far, it's literally taking place like right after the end of Lightlurk where she like explodes. No, she falls into like a deep pit of death and Oro picks her up. I don't know, because through the power of love, I totally can't remember what the hell is going on. So it starts with that. She's basically what's been happening for the past 36 minutes is she's complaining. Not complaining. She's feeling like inadequate. And she's like, oh, I'm not good enough. And now I have to take care of 2 rounds. I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And the reason that I stopped reading is because I feel not good enough. And I'm like, why am I going to read a book where the main character doesn't feel good enough? Well, I'm trying to read a book where the main character is strong and courageous so that I can feel strong and courageous. And again, that has nothing to do with Alex Astor. It has everything to do with what I'm going through at the moment. So that's kind of why I stopped reading. Let me take a shower and let me eat. I'm gonna probably have a smoothie, or maybe I'll have my ramen. I don't know. We'll see. If my mom left the cup, we're having a smoothie. If not, we're having ramen. And then we're gonna shower. Oh no, we're gonna get into the book. I think I said shower already. Okay, anyway, whenever that happens. You'll see me whenever that happens. Hi, lovers. It's currently snowing outside, and also I'm alone in the house is what I meant to bring up. This is the point that I was trying to make. And so I'm going to start. It is 11:25. Yo, it's 11:25. That means that I am really good at my time management because I took a shower and I ate breakfast, well, a smoothie. So we're gonna get on this book. First of all, the cover though, this part eats. Like it's genuinely so gorgeous. And the reason that my friend and I bought it is because I'm pretty sure there's like extra scenes at the end of the book. Here's the crazy thing. Oh girl, I bought 2 of these books. One of them is literally in California because it came the same day that I was moving back home. So there was no possible way that I was going to be able to receive the book, which was really annoying. I asked my friend from my apartment if she could return it for me. And they were like, you need the original credit card or card that you bought the book with to get a return for it. So 2 of these books have my name on it. And I just gave Miss Alex twice my money. But if this book is worth it, then I'll be okay with that. I'm going to listen to my K-pop playlist while I read because I cannot read in silence. If you can read in silence, that's crazy. I have 2 main playlists that I listen to whenever I read. This is the first one. For the K-pop girlies. What is it? For the K-pop girlies who literally can't make playlists for shit. It's 20 hours, bruh. And most of it is like Stray Kids songs. I keep saying bruh because of my brother. Oh my gosh. Let me stop saying that. And then the second one I listen to, Loki on a Loop, is I Met You in a Coffee Shop. I love this playlist so much. These are all songs that I've found really would go with the vibe of if I was a barista in a coffee shop and I was like going to find the love of my life there. Anywhoosie. Okay. I'm gonna listen to my playlist and then I'm gonna read. Okay, I've only gotten like maybe 15 more pages than I was before. Unsure. But I already have a gripe with what I've read so far. In the past 15 pages, it has been mentioned that Isla, I think that's her name. I keep calling her Isla because Miss Alex said that she was named after Island, but her name is Isla, whatever. So Isla, Isla, Miss Girl in the past 15 pages has been covered in blood about 3 times. And, you know, I know in fantasy books, there is like a thing, like people kind of get off on like, you know, the murder and the blood and stuff. I'm just like a little annoyed, I guess, because literally I'm starting the new chapter and the page right before the new chapter, it said, this is literally the part right before the chapter. I'm fine, she said gently. She looked down at herself and winced. She was covered in blood after helping the healers. It wasn't hers. Okay. I go, not 1, 2 pages. She had no weapons. She was already covered in blood. The skin of her stomach scraped clean. Like, why? What is her thing with blood? And then the next page. Her clothes were drenched in blood. Fabric stuck against her wounds. Like, I feel like Isla, I feel like Miss Isla is always like getting hurt. Like in the last book, it was such a gripe of mine where like she just kept getting hurt and having to be healed every 2 seconds. In this book, she has gotten hurt. I think from all of this, including this page, she has gotten hurt or attacked like 10 different times by now. It's kind of annoying. Like I don't know. It's not my favorite. I don't really like it. I'm gonna keep reading. Hopefully like before my family gets home, they get home around like maybe 5-ish. Hopefully I get through a really big chunk of the book, but we will see. I'm already mad again. I didn't even get like past 2 more pages and I'm already pissed off. I'm literally like It's literally been 2 pages. Let me play my music. Let me play my TXT, my loser lover, so I can feel better. But it has been like literally 2 extra pages. And now it's talking about only then did Isla realize she was in her soaking night clothes, her body nearly completely visible beneath them. It's really annoying. I had to pause it. I'm so mad. It's really annoying also how Isla is like always kind of sexualized in the book. Like in the first one, she was always wearing the most like revealing clothes. And then like in the beginning of this, when she went to the dinner, she was wearing like this sexy kind of like, I don't know, like whenever she describes the clothes, I'm like, these are cute. But then I remember that Isla is literally like 18 to 22, which is basically like, she's either 2 years younger than me or like 1 year older than me. And I don't feel that comfortable. I wouldn't have felt comfortable wearing the clothes that she's wearing at 18, surrounded by 3,000-year-old people. And also what pisses me off is the other like gods or whatever they are. I forgot what they are. They don't wear those clothes. We literally spoke to Cleo, which is like her arch nemesis. But at this point, Cleo started to be my favorite character because I'm so sick of Miss Isla, whatever. She comes out. Her white dress had a high neckline and sleeves that ran all the way to the floor, covering the etching of the moon. Why is she being able to wear these classy, beautiful clothes, but Isla's always wearing something skimpy? Like, I don't like that. I don't like when the main character is like overly sexualized. And I don't think that was Miss Alex's intention, because again, like Isla is literally like in her early 20s, which is basically a child in my opinion. Like I'm 21, I still feel like a child. So I'm about to be 22 next month, still feel like a baby. So I don't think this is her intention with it. She probably just wants people who are like doing their self-insert to feel so like cool and sexy or whatever. I genuinely do not like that part. It's so weird. And the fact that she had to point out in this part that her body is nearly completely visible beneath them is really weird, in my opinion, after you just went off about how she's like soaked in blood. Like, Miss Alex, please don't do that anymore. I hope that I'm literally only 48 pages in. I hope that like that doesn't come up anymore, but we will see. Y'all hear the song playing? Reading light smut to sticker is not what I was gonna put on my 2020 list, but here we are. We're surviving on little light left, so pray that you keep me alive. I have Lino here, my baby Lino, and he's going to be my bookmark for the rest of this book. You could tell it's hot because my hair has shrunk so much. It's giving black. It's giving black. Black power, black shrinkage. Yeah, black. Anyway, I am at page 144. So I've read 110 pages in 3 hours, which is really not that good. But, you know, usually I've been better than this, but it's okay. Basically, what's been happening in the book is Miss Isla Crown is like getting used to her powers. The beginning half of it, she was basically like just shitting on herself and going herself nothing. She was like, I'm a nothing burger, and I was like, yeah, you kind of are. JK. She's more than that, but you know, it was just like a slog to get through. But with Oro's help and, you know, just like practicing on her powers, she's gotten better. She's doing a lot better. And also her and Oro shared their first kiss, and they also like they got down and dirty. Good on them. I mean, shit, good on them. She's like 22 and he's maybe like 5,000 years old, but shit, if she's getting it, she's getting it. She's getting it more than me. Here's what I'll say though. I have a couple of grievances which I have put up. There are a couple. Oh, hold on. That's all you're getting. I know my copyright is about to be crazy, but it doesn't matter. So here are a couple of points that up until where I've stopped, I have. Oro and Isla's relationship is very, very cute. Like, Miss Alex really does a good job of progressing their relationship. And she also does a good job of romance, I want to say, or like making the story between the male lead and a male lead and the female lead. She makes it really well. Yeah, she makes it really well. I also found her story with Grimm, Isla's story with Grimm. Isla's story with Grimm was also very fun and entertaining. Like, I was sad from the moment that they met each other up until what I'm up to right now, the way that they are like progressing with each other. It is actually really good and pretty interesting. And honestly, I understand why she was kind of advertising Grimm and her, because that story is kind of fun. Like, it's kind of a story that I've read before, but there's nothing wrong with that, you know? This is kind of gonna move into like stuff that I don't like. It feels like a Wattpad story that I've read like multiple times over. And so I don't really feel like the greatest attachment to these characters, because I feel like I've read these tropes before. And that's nothing to Miss Alex. Like, she's doing her best, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's not terrible work. And it's pretty entertaining 90% of the time, but sometimes it's just like a slog to get through, especially when, like, for most of those pages, Isla was very like self-deprecating and she just kept shitting on herself, and I was like, I'm a little tired of this rhetoric. Like, she would like make progress and then immediately start shitting on herself right after, like 2 pages later. So it was just a little bit annoying with the back and forth, but I do understand why it was happening, because there's 400 pages, and she, you have to fill up the pages with something. Not that this is her quota, but but it also brings up the point of like, why did we need 400 pages? Like, she could have, I guess it's to like show progress and change in her story, but I just think that whole arc of her like not feeling good enough was a little too long. It was from page 1 to it was probably from like page 1 to like 100, which is like so long. Again, also, before I continue with like the stuff that I don't like, I do want to mention that this is my opinion. Like, the way that I read books, I'm so picky with books, so it has really nothing to do with Miss Alex. I know a lot of people shit on Light Lark, but so far, like, it's actually not that bad. Like, at first I kind of was coming in as a hater, but I'm enjoying it. It's actually pretty fun. I have a lot of notes here, but they're just like little things. They're just little things that aren't really truly complaints. It's more of me just like writing down notes. I think she's really growing as a author, and she's really doing well. So I'll see you later. It's 11:11. Make a wish. It'll come true. Holy shit. My hair looks a mess. We're gonna fix that. I have work. Yeah. I've been home for a month and I finally got work. I'm gonna try and read some more of Nightbane while I am on the busy to worky, because it takes a long time. And I didn't read anything else last night because my family literally, I think I'm like just so good. Like, I'm so tapped in because my family came home. I'm not even kidding. Like 30 minutes after I said I was going to see you guys later. So I was like, I'm not reading and I'm not vlogging with my family all up in my grill. Because when I tell you they are all up in my grill, especially my brother, yeah, he's all up in my grill, always. Yeah, I'm going to read. I'm going to go on the bus. I'm going to go to work. I'll see y'all later. I don't know why I winked. Anyway. Hey y'all, it's been a minute. In the next clip that you see, it's actually been, I want to say, about like 4 days since I started reading Light Lark, and I ended up getting my hair braided, and that's when I finished it. And I have a lot to say. I have a lot of points. So the clip that I have here is about 40 minutes long. I'm trying to edit it down right now. But also try and make it make sense to you guys. I was like really pissed for whatever reason. So I'm trying my best to just like transition it very quickly into this. So here's me explaining what Nightbane was basically about in my best way possible. And I might pop in every once in a while if it doesn't make sense. We'll see. Okay, so Grimm and Isla have been looking for this sword for a really long time. And he explains to her that the sword is basically going to be used so that he can control the Drex so that they don't destroy all of Lightlark and Nightshade. At this point in time, the scars, they're called scars, but they're really like just splits in the world of Lightlark. The scars are only in Nightshade at this point, but they are going to further move into the rest of Lightlark if they don't get it under control and if they don't have that sword in order to take care of all of the Drex, right? And so Isla and Grimm share a lot of woohooing time if you've ever played The Sims, which actually I'm kind of happy about, because in my mind, the end game that she's probably going towards, which I really hope Miss Alex does, is Oro and Isla. So the fact that Isla wasn't like this pure innocent virgin when they met actually was really refreshing, because I'm so tired of the virgin trope, especially because she's like, what, I don't know, 18 to 22. And so I was like, okay, slay, like, we're doing something different. I just didn't like that she lost it to Grimm, because I do not like that man. Like, he's so, like, everything about him is so annoying. Even, like, in the past, every time I read them falling in love, I felt nothing. Like, I was just like, I do not care about this. I only want to learn about them getting together because I need to know the secrets of the lore or whatever, right? Isla, after they've had sex and after she's like fallen in love with him, she admits to him that she has no powers. And he tells her, actually, I already knew that she didn't have powers. And also, your dad, yeah, he was Nightshade. And so that means that you have Wildling and Nightshade in you. And she's like, that's not possible. And also, what the fuck? That he knew that she didn't have any powers. But also, he also knew that she kind of did have powers because she had both Nightshade and Wildling in her, right? And to get the sword, so this stupid sword, you can't be Nightshade and get the sword, because way in the past, this Nightshade ruler, I'm pretty sure it's Grimm's dad or great or grandfather, whatever, he wanted to use the sword in order to control the Drex and get full power of Lightlark. And the person who was making the sword was like, hey, yo, that's not cash money. So they cursed it so that no Nightshade could be able to use the sword. So at first, when Grimm was setting out for this sword, there's like a price that you need to, in order to use the sword, there's a price you have to pay. And they had found the sword. They came in contact with it multiple times, but right when she was about to get the sword, it was being watched by this dragon. So the dragon came back to like kill her, and Grimm saved her over the sword. And so Isa's like, why did you not save the sword? Like, this is what all we've worked for. Why did you protect me? And he's like, because I love you, and you've ruined me. And no, what was it? Oh, you're the bane of my existence, whatever, bitch. He's like, you're the bane of my existence, and I don't think it's worth it anymore. Like, there's no price that's worth the sword and stuff like that. So in this moment when he's like admitting to her, I know you're both Wildling and Nightshade, she's like, okay, now let's bring you back to that damn price. What's the price? And he tells her that the price, he had told her a while ago that he didn't want to use it anymore because the cost was too high. And she's like, okay, the cost was too high. What was the cost? And he goes, your life. Huh? He needed her to break the curse of the sword, but breaking the curse of the sword would have killed her. So she's like, wait a minute. So you knew this whole time, first of all, who my daddy was, because her dad was his like right-hand man or something. And you're like, okay, which makes it even weirder, mind you, but whatever. So he knew her dad, and obviously he knew her mom. And he also knew that she was going to be killed by this sword when they made the deal. And their stupid fucking deal was she finds the sword with him and he helps her in the Centennial. He knew that the deal was already like null and void. It was dead on arrival because she was going to be dead before the Centennial. So basically he was going to get the sword. He was going to be able to break the curse and take care of the Drex by himself with the sword. and not go to the Centennial and be chilling with the fact that she died. But not only that, killing her would have killed all of her people. So he did not give one fuck, two fuck, red fuck, blue fuck that when she died, her whole wildling realm would have been wiped out. And I'm supposed to root for this man? Alright. So she's obviously super fucking upset. And this is my issue. We'll bring it up later. Then he comes back to see her, and in her training room, like weeks later, after she's like, I never want to see you again. And he had this stupid fucking line being like, you know, I've been stabbed 1 billion times, but this one hurt the worst. I was like, sir, you are bald. What'd he say? I've been stabbed 1,000 times, but none of that hurts more than hearing you say goodbye. So anyway, he comes to find her, and she's like, I thought I said I never want to see you again. And he's like, well, he's so stupid. Well, I might have good news for you then. Okay, whatever. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? Please don't tell me. And he's like so serious. And he's like, listen, I love you. And the scar in Nightshade has opened up. And it's like, it's basically too much. Like, there's too many Drecks and stuff. And so he goes on this whole speech talking about, I hate this. Oh my gosh. The gods don't listen to people like me, but I would go on my knees and beg them to let me keep you. You were once the bane of my existence. Chom, chom, chom. And now you are the center of it. Oh. And then she has the gall to say, well, it's not her, but like the narrator, I guess. He couldn't possibly be saying this. Not him, demon in the shadows, ruler of darkness. Not him, looking at her as if she was the answer to all his dreams. This is also in second person, which isn't my favorite type of reading. Like, I enjoy first person because I like to insert myself. No matter what the main character looks like. They're usually white, but I make them black. I make them look like me. So this was a little bit jarring, but I got used to it. My entire world was night, and you lit a match. No matter what happens to me in this life, I'll find you in the next one. I'll always find you. What I feel for you can never be extinguished. Like the nighttime sky, it is infinite. You and me, chum chum chum, we're infinite. Okay. And so then she's like, no, take me with me. Take me with you. No, we can do it together. We can figure it out together. And he's like, okay, heart eater. He gives her like a fat, juicy kiss, steals her star stick that she uses to travel to him, and he dips. And that part had me gagged. I said, oh, he kissed you with the stick? Whoa, that sounds wrong. He kissed you and took your device? That's crazy. Also, he gets so like comically villainy. Like, he's not really villainy. It's weird because like this whole time we're seeing him as a villain in the present day, but he's kind of like just some guy who's like obsessed with her, which makes it kind of even worse in my eyes. And so he's like stalking her a little bit and being like really weird about it. And he's like, oh, you knew I'd find you and stuff like that. And so her and Odo, it's really strange. Like, Grim and Odo get into a fight, and then Grim strikes Odo with his own lightning. Oh, I was gagged because I was so upset. I was like, if Odo dies here, I'm burning this book. Like, genuinely, I'm getting a match and I'm burning this book. Thankfully, he was fine. Well, he's not fine, but, you know, he's better than he could have been. Isla has this plan in the present day to take Grimm's powers so that Odo can like, strike him down and kill him. So Isla starts taking his power, and Grimm's like, it was so gross. Like, what does he say? It just bothered me, bruh. Oh yeah, so in the past, she goes to find Grimm, and she's seeing all the destruction, and she's like, no matter what he's dying, I have to do something. So she takes the sword and she stabs it into the earth. Wait, I don't know. She grabs the sword, right? This is the part that I was so confused by. I don't actually know what happens. But she grabs the sword, and then like the sword starts shaking, and then she pours like endless waves of shadows, and all the Drecks die, and the soldiers become clouds of blood. Okay, sure. And she had a lot of darkness in her, and it kept like eating up the world, apparently. And then she dies. Yeah, she dies. And he's like, come back to me, come back to me. And she's like, Grim, pain is not the strongest. And in blank, it's supposed to be love is. Anyway, so then it's back to the present day. It keeps, like, in the last few pages, it flips back and forth between the past and present day. And so Ordo's about to kill him. Ordo's about to kill Grim. And she's holding onto his powers as much as she can. And he's like, he says some stupid line, heart eater? What is this? And he like looks like a sad puppy, and I was like throwing up in my seat because I was like, no way is he talking like this. Ordo's about to kill, and he's like, no, don't do it. If I die, she dies. And so Ordo's like, you're not serious. You did it. And apparently Grim bounded Isla to himself. So there's this thing called bounding. It hasn't been brought up since the last book. But when you love another person, you can share their powers, which is why Isla was able to take away all of Grimm's powers for Ordo to try and strike and kill him, because he loves her. And I mean, she loves him too. And the only way that it works is if they both love each other. And I put that in quotes because I genuinely don't feel the connection between her and Grim, but whatever, they supposedly love each other. So that's why they're able to share powers with each other. Isla loves Ordo. Like, that's true. That's real. She fights herself a little bit, being like, do I actually love him? Like, what is love? What is love? She, in the end, is like, I love you and I want to do things with you tomorrow. Like, starting tomorrow, it's you and me, baby. And he's like, so they can share powers. And also, her and Grim can share powers, but she's never used it with Grim because she apparently hates Grim and they haven't seen each other for a long time. So what happened in the first book of Lightlark is that Isla ended up dying. So she's died about 3 times. She got an arrow to the heart and her heart split in 2, and Lightlark, the power of Lightlark kept her alive. Like, she kept living and breathing because of the power of Lightlark. But now we're taking that back and saying that's not entirely true. Miss Alex is taking it back. She's saying Grim was keeping her alive because they're bounded together. So I'm so confused how she could be bound to 2 people at once. But apparently, because she is in love with both of those guys, she's able to be bound to both. Actually, I don't know if she's bound to Ordo. I'm pretty sure she is, though, because they can share powers. So I don't know. Oh, no. Ordo's not bound to her because he wouldn't die if she died. When you're bound to someone, if that person dies, you die. But when you love someone, you just share powers with each other. Okay, sure. Now we get it. Grim basically waged this whole war so that he could bring Isla back to life, because Isla's not living her own life. She's living Grimm's life, technically. She's living off Grimm's life force. So he wanted them to jump through the portal so that they could find a way to bring Isla back to life. And also, when you jump through the portal, which was opened by this stupid thing in the beginning of the book that actually meant nothing, when you open the portal, it leads to the real Lightlark. So the Lightlark that they're on isn't even the real Lightlark. Like, there's a whole world that's supposed to be like so much better and magical. So they're trying to, and you could like bring people back from the dead in that place. Who gives a literal shit? I'm like getting tired all of a sudden I'm working my brain really hard to explain this in a way that makes sense. Grim is like, listen, I'm trying to jump through this portal with her. He's talking to Oro, and he's like, I'm trying to jump through this portal with Isla so that we could bring her back to life and she can be on her own life force. And so Oro starts wavering. He's like, I don't know. And Isla's like, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Can you kill this man? Like, stick to the plan. I told you that basically they have this whole pact. They were going to do everything tomorrow. It doesn't matter. But she was just basically like, kill him. Like, he's literally going to kill your people. It doesn't matter if I die. He's going to kill your people. And Oro's like, I'm sorry, I can't. Like, I don't want you to die or whatever. And so Grim goes, hold up. I'm not killing anyone. And she's like, no, you kill people. Like, I saw it in my vision. And he's like, no, blood, that was you. No, young blood, that was you. So apparently, this is something that I was still confused about. Oh, I think I get it now. So basically, when she took that sword in her hands, I guess it unlocked her Nightshade power. Who knows? But she basically killed like all of Nightshade. Like she kind of killed everyone in Nightshade, or in that area of Nightshade. And she's like, oh my gosh, I literally like am a monster. And Odo and Grim are like, no, you're not monsters, you're not monster. But she's like, I literally killed a whole village, and I killed people who didn't deserve it. And he's like, everybody's like, oh no, it's okay, blah 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 blah. Odo starts like taking hold of her, being like, you're not a monster, it's okay, we'll work through this together, da da da. And she's like, let me go, because in her mind she's like, I'm gonna kill Odo, and that's not right, and who gives a fuck. She's like, let me go. And Odo's like, no, I won't let you go. Like, we need to talk about this. We'll work through this together. And Grim goes, let go of my wife. Oh, oh, please don't tell me. So, in order to get bound to each other, they got married. Grim and Isla are married. And remember that necklace that I had brought up very briefly in the beginning? Y'all, it has taken me so long to do this video, so apologies. Editing sucks. Boo, editing. I got my nails done. Do you like it? Is it cute? Do you like it? If you hear noise, my heater is going on, and I'm on a phone call because we're doing an accountability call, which I recommend you guys should do. I had actually recorded 2 videos because I had tried recording myself explaining the plot of the book twice, and I'm really not good at explaining plots, as you can tell. I cut out the part where I basically had spoken about the necklace, which was in the last video, so I will explain it right here. So basically, at the end of Lightlark, Grim comes into her room after he's like escaped, and he is like, he puts a necklace on her, and he's like, whenever you need me, pull on this necklace. And she doesn't know what the necklace is. He never explains it to her. He's just like, if you pull this necklace, I'll be there. I'll be there for you. But not in a fun way. Not in a friend's fun way. Like, actually in a bad way. And you'll see why in a sec. She is wearing that necklace because that is her wedding ring. Because on Nightshade, instead of rings, they give necklaces. And once you put on that necklace, you cannot take it off till death do you part. Which is crazy. The thing is, he didn't put the necklace on her before they went into the Centennial. He erased her mind and then dropped her into the Centennial. And then, like, literally 5 minutes later, he came back and was like, hi, nice to meet you, or whatever. Not literally, like, they were bantering, but he was like, oh, you love me, you can feel it. And she's like, she has this, like, weird pull and connection to him, but she can't place it. And then at the end of the first book, he comes back to her and he puts the necklace on her. And he's like, pull this and I'll be there in a jiffy. And she tried to take the necklace off and she couldn't take it off. So here's what this feels so like, oh my gosh. In the end, she realizes, she finally has 100% of her memories back. And she's like, Odo, I love you, but I love Grim too. So I have to go. And she leaves with Grim, with Odo like literally sitting there, like kind of dying on the floor. He's not on the floor and he's not dying. But Grim like portals him away to Nightshade. And she's like, she turns and says, I love you, Odo. She closed her eyes tightly, felt tears sweep down. She took Grim's hand, but I love him too. And because of his flare, he knew it was true. But it's not true. I don't know how else to explain this to y'all, but I do not think she loves that man. And if she does, this is sick and twisted. Like, here's a couple things that bother me about this ending. For one, honestly, the whole book is just annoying to me because how long were they together? for them to get married, for her to literally kill a whole village. No. Let's start from the beginning. For them to meet, then have a duel, then meet each other again, then strike up a deal to find a sword. Search in multiple places to find where the sword is. Find the sword. Go through the whole cave multiple times in order to get the sword. And there's a lot of weeks that pass in between this. So they get the sword, then they lose the sword, and then they like go on a date for the first time. They have sex. He tells her that he tells her about the Drex and stuff. Then she goes and finds the Drex. She uses the sword. She destroys a whole village. And then she comes back to life. He and her get married. And then he erases her memory and sends her off onto the White Cliffs. The White Cliffs for the centennial. Mind you, she had to leave multiple times from her enclosure. She was literally, they kept calling it a glass cage. And she was low-key supposed to be on surveillance often. But she'd be gone for hours at a time. Sometimes like a whole night at a time. And you're telling me nobody went up to check up her? Sometimes she would go during the day and she just had a break time. Like, I really need a timeline of events. And I also need to know like how long all of this stuff was taking, because the amount of adventures that she would go on is not feasible for one person, especially a person who trained. In the first book, she used to like flex that she was getting like physically abused through her training by her mentors. And we're supposed to sit here and say that while she was getting trained by day and getting bruised and broke up every single day, then she would go and in the nighttime get bruised and broke up with Grimshaw? That's what she want to tell me at the same time? Before the centennial, where she goes to get broke up there? Oh my lordy. I just don't understand. Like, the timeline of events is crazy. But then, let's say that's going on, whatever, who cares? Then the centennial happens and she finds out that he was working with Aurora. I need to get that book back. Like, it's upstairs in my brother's room, but he's asleep. Like, it's late at night. He was working with Aurora for her. But Aurora never comes up in this, by the way, in this whole book. She never really comes up, like, in the past. But he was working with her. And he took away her memories because Aurora was blackmailing him. So he took away her memories because he thought that was best for her. But they were, like, together that whole time. She felt like the ultimate betrayal and stuff like that. But then he was like, you're going to keep coming back to me. And he was being really creepy and odd. Like, the whole Lightlock book, he was being creepy and weird. And then in this book, in the present time, he was always being creepy and weird. But then she's going to turn around and say that she loves him just because they got married before. He took away your memories. He's ruined your life. Like, he took away your autonomy multiple times and made decisions for you multiple times. For what? It reminds me of that fairy book where, like, in the end, she, like, gets pregnant by that guy that's supposed to be the better character of the two main characters. But then the guy finds out that she's gonna die if she has the baby, but he decides not to tell her. I don't understand what is so hot and sexy about men making decisions for you. Like, I don't get it. If Grimm really loved her, he wouldn't have erased her memories. They would have went through the centennial together as promised per deal. And they would have figured it out. Now, do I think the curses would have been broken? No, but it would have been like who knows what would have happened if he would have just let her have her autonomy. Like, that just bothered me so much. So the fact that she was sitting there saying that she loved him because what, you got your memories back that he took from you in the first place without your consent? I was just like, what? And then her and Odo didn't have enough time together in this book. Like, 90% of this book was about her and Grimm and their past. But low-key, after a while, I did not give a fuck. I wanted to see Odo again because I know where, like, all the stuff in the past, I knew where it was going to end up, right? But it was so bothersome because, and like, everything that happened in this book felt crazy. I don't know how to explain this. But how is it that before the centennial, she was going through a literal like war with these Drecks, and she destroyed a whole village, and she didn't feel anything? Like, I don't know, like, this just felt like such a huge leap from the book from the past. Like, the Lightlark book is just about trying to destroy that curse. And the curse feels so infinitesimal compared to what is going on in Nightbane. To the point where it's almost like jarring. And it's like, I still can't keep wrapping my head around that. The fact that this infinitesimal curse was going on, and before that there was like a literal life-altering Lightlark destroying event that happened, but then we had to go focus on a curse for 100 days. Like, I just don't understand how this could happen. Like, it just, like, that part really bothers my soul. It bothers me so bad, because I'm like, what the literal fuck? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if this book was first, maybe, and like, that's the problem with having trilogies, because you always have to try and like one up yourself from the past book. Like, this is bringing me back to Hunger Games, where like Hunger Games 1 was like just the game. Hunger Games 2 was like politics and the game. And then Hunger Games 3 was about like politics. And there was still like action in there, but it was really like politics, you know? But Hunger Games, especially with the movies, Hunger Games and then Catching Fire, there was a huge like up the ante. And then they upped the ante again, but it just wasn't action packed. It was more like upping the ante through politics. With this, she was trying to fully up the ante with action, which is fine, but it just doesn't feel good in my tummy. Like, it hurts. My tummy hurts, okay? Because I just don't understand how Grimm was sitting on the destruction of Lightlark while playing hooky with Miss Girl and trying to like kiss her up on her and love up on her during the centennial. Like, I just don't, it feels icky in my tummy. Like, I just don't like that. I don't like that. And it was just so stupid the way that she ended it, saying that she loves Otto, but she also loves Grimm. How does she love Grimm? Maybe this is just me, like, maybe. And it's annoying because like Miss Alex really, like, she was promoting the fuck out of Grimm and Isla together. Like, even when Lightlark came out, she would do those like TikToks. If I like, I'll post them if I can find them.
How bad could I possibly be? Let's see. I'm taking names. I'm all fame. Don't come home, babe. I'm this fucking thing all night.
But why was she trying to make it seem like Grimm was supposed to be the main character when in Lightlark, Otto was the one that she ended up with? That was so bothersome. But then in this book, I didn't see any of the TikToks that she had for this book, like promoting this book. But with this book, it made me hate Grimm even more. Like, it didn't, like, it was fun kind of seeing them together. If it was just all of the before parts and there was no war and there was no, Grimm doing this, that, and the third, and getting the Moon Isle into it. Like, if it was just about Grimm and Isla's past, maybe I could have grown to love him. But even then, it would have bothered me because I know what he does by the end. Like, I know he erases her memory by the end, so it would have still bothered me, which is why I could never fall in love with it, but whatever. But it was just so annoying seeing them fall in love. It bothered my spirit so much seeing them fall in love. And then you're gonna slap in my face that her and Otto are trying to like develop something, and they actually are like a healthy and good relationship. Like, Otto is literally like perfect. I was pissed. Grimm is literally those mafia bosses that I would read in Wattpad, and Otto is like literally a golden retriever. It was like sick and twisted. There was a page, I genuinely closed the book when I was sitting there getting my hair braided like this, And I went, I know they did not just say that. But Isla goes to speak to an oracle before the war starts, right? And she went to the oracle once, and the oracle was like, you're gonna see me again. Like, I already know. And like I foresaw it. So she goes to see the oracle, and she's like, damn, you waited to the last second. It was the night before the war. She's like, damn, you waited to the last second, huh? 370 something. Sweet. Ooh, this pissed me off. She's like feeling defeated because like everything's not going her way. And the oracle is like, my desires matter very little actually. Yours, however, yours will decide. Oh, let me add the pauses in there. Sorry. My desires matter very little actually. Yours, however, chum chum chum, yours will decide the fate of the world. Izuku's fate has already been decided. I opened the portal. The oracle's like, fate has not been decided, girl. The battle hasn't even begun. And she's like, the oracle goes, Wildling, you need to understand. The future is split in half. There are two possibilities, not one greater than the other. I see you choosing each path. It changes almost every minute. What paths? Your heart decides the future of the world. Your choice decides. What choice? Odo or Grimm? So you're telling me the fate of all of Lightlark depends on if she kills Grimshaw or Odo? You're telling me that she hasn't even the option to kill Odo? And she's having trouble? Oh, that's not... She goes, you will kill one of them. That much is certain. Which one lives and which one dies, that has not yet been decided. So in my mind reading this, I was like, oh, Grim, bye. Nice meeting you. Nice knowing you. Bye. You gotta go. But now you're telling me at the end of the book, I was not... Also because like in the beginning of the video when I was recording this, I had like seen... I was trying to find out the pages, like how many pages there were in the book. And I had seen, I love you, Odo. That's all I had read. I love you, Odo, from the last page. So I was like, oh, this is even more confirmation that she kills Grimm. Okay, it sucks that I spoiled the book for myself, but I'm so glad she chose Odo. Like, she gonna end up with Odo. It's gonna be good. And then I sit there and read that, and then I said, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. You're lying. Like, you're lying. One thing about you love to lie. Like, I know that's true, Miss Alex. There's no way you sat here and did that to me. Oh, I was bothered. At the end of the day, I'll be reading the third book. The ending pissed me off to no end, but here's another thing that really bothers me. I had at one point started reading this part. This, like, synopsis is not what the book is about at all. Like, she's talking about, like, the points that was brought up in the summary were, like, they were brought up and resolved in the first act of the book. The other two acts are more about her, like, trying to hone in her powers and, like, fix everything. It was just, guys, I don't know how to end this. I'm sorry. I'm just, like, so depressed because this had the opportunity to do some great things, but it just fell flat in my opinion. And honestly, I'm not really that good at describing what I like and don't like in a book. And this is my first time doing like a reading vlog and stuff, and it was very choppy and bad. So I apologize. I want to do another reading vlog and like maybe a book that I would actually like. Maybe like a murder mystery. Like I really want to do a murder mystery. And I will do my best to actually like explain everything from start to end. I just kind of didn't want to spoil this book, but maybe you came to this for spoilers. I love you guys so much. I'm not doing that outro anymore. Girl, that outro is long. But I do love you. I can't. Okay, that's it. That's it. But I will see you next time. Bye.